As far as hosted exchange, when is an appropriate time for a client to be looking at hosted exchange? Like, why would they not have an exchange server in their house, in their office?
Yeah, I think that exchange is probably the best example of why you should look at moving into the cloud. If you look at, there's challenges at all levels. If you look at an organization of, let's say, 5 to 20 people, well, they have to buy a server, they have to buy the exchange licenses, and they have to implement it, and they have to back it up, maintain it, all of these types of things. And if you look at hosting with a provider like us, you're paying a per user fee. There's no purchase of any equipment, there's no purchase of any backup system, no need to maintain it, just basically use the system.
And using the hosted exchange scenario, you can still use Outlook as your email client, just like you always have. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's just simple and clean, and you almost don't even notice the difference.
Typical redundancies are beyond the reach of these organizations. I mean, even companies in the 100 to 200 people range, it just costs too much to implement these types of failover.
Actually, I'm going to stop you there because I have a comment that I want to put in about redundancy. And David, you can probably speak to this. Do you remember you were talking about the diagram that David McPeak drew and explained the whole hosted exchange scenario?
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit and the redundancies.
So as he's explaining this, he goes through the explanation, and he walks through, and then he draws a mirror of what he just done and says, this is the redundancy of that. And the explanation of when he drew this second one, that was the power. What David brings to the table and what this hosted exchange does is it thinks through everything that you would have to figure out on your own if you wanted to build a similar redundant network.
Right, or pay someone
to do it. Yeah. He's thought of it all. And you get, as the client, you get the benefit of all of that.
Again, you're saying email is email, whether it's Exchange in-house or Exchange in the cloud. You look at the total cost to deliver that email onto a user's desktop. I think you'll find more times than not that it's less expensive in the cloud.